When we were young, we were rewarded for good behavior and we were punished for bad behavior. And over time, this trained us and domesticated us according to social standards. And because nobody likes the way that it feels to be punished, we developed this inner critic, this inner judge that would punish us preemptively so as to protect us from that external form of punishment. And most people never really grow out of this. They continually judge themselves, criticize themselves, and punish themselves as a way to protect themselves from the judgment and criticism and punishment of others or of society. And so we need to transform this part of ourselves, or else we're going to feel miserable because we're always going to be speaking negatively to ourselves and criticizing ourselves and limiting ourselves, limiting our authentic expression of who we are. So the way that we transform this, the way that we grow out of this, is not by judging it further, not by saying, like, there's that part of me that judges me, and I'm so negative to myself. When we bring negativity to that negative part of us, it only makes it worse. So how do we transform it? We have to bring positivity and love and acceptance to it. So when we see this part of ourselves that is being critical, that is being judgmental, that is being negative to us, we have to understand that this developed as a protective mechanism. It's there really to protect us. It's not there to make us feel miserable, even though it does. And if we can understand that, we can have a little bit of compassion to that part of ourselves. We can say, like, oh, thank you for trying to protect me, but I'm safe now. Thank you for looking out for me, but I'm actually free now to express myself, and I'm not going to be punished. I'm not going to be hurt for it. And that gradually allows that part of ourselves to soften, to open, and eventually to dissolve and to be transformed with a more positive, accepting, and loving part of ourselves. So really that judgmental part of ourselves is rooted in fear. And we can bring this love and compassion within ourselves to this fear, this fearful part of ourselves, and that transforms it. Because that part of ourselves is rooted in a afraid, wounded inner child that just wanted to be approved, that just wanted to be accepted, that just wanted to be loved, and was punished for things that it did, was harmed, was treated poorly or negatively. And so it's still rooted in that energy. It's still trying to protect us from that. And so if we can see that, it's like, oh man, like you feel compassion for it, and you bring love to that. You bring the love that you wish you would have received to that part of yourself, and it heals it. It transforms it. It resolves this unresolved part of us. And so practice this, or I invite you to practice this. When you see this part of yourself that's being critical, that's being judgmental, that's being negative to yourself, know that it's just there because it's trying to protect you from punishment, from the judgment of others. And say to it, you have to actively practice this and say to it, like, see it, say, thank you. Thank you for looking out for me. Thank you for trying to take care of me and protect me, but I am safe. I'm free, and I am okay. Something along these lines. And when you start to bring this love to yourself, when you start to bring this acceptance to yourself, then you are free. You no longer fear the punishment of others. You no longer care whether people approve of you or disapprove of you, whether they accept you or reject you, because you love and accept yourself. You're no longer rejecting and punishing yourself. And so, what other people have to say, that's their opinion, that's their perception, that's their perspective, but it doesn't have to be something you internalize or identify with when you have this compassionate, loving understanding towards yourself. So speak more kindly to yourself, think more kindly to and about yourself, speak more positively and more empowering about yourself, and it will free you from a lot of these limitations, a lot of these limited, narrow views and kind of parameters that we set up for ourselves to try to fit in socially, to try to be protected from social rejection or punishment. If you accept yourself and you love yourself, you don't need that. You can still be respectful. You can still be considerate of other people and try to, live in society, but you don't have to be so afraid about expressing yourself or being authentic because you're not so worried about how people think about you. And you can only really feel this genuinely when you have genuine love and acceptance of yourself. As long as you reject yourself, as long as you speak unkindly and negatively to yourself, then you can't really be authentic, because you're going to be afraid of other people. You're going to be afraid of how others are going to receive you, or whether they're going to reject you. So again, notice that part of you that is afraid. Notice that part of you that does criticize you or speak negatively towards you, and don't be negative toward it. See it and smile and say, oh, like, thank you. Thanks for trying to look out for me. Thanks for trying to protect me, but I'm okay. We're okay now. And you may have to do this many times, but over time, it will transform that energy from fear into love, from disempowerment to empowerment, from negativity into positivity. And you'll have a lot more freedom, a lot more happiness, and a lot more peace in your life.